On a small tree in Madagascar, there's an animal, and right now, it is furious. A moment ago, it was a calm, quiet green, sitting on a branch without moving a muscle. Then another one of its own kind came climbing slowly up onto the same branch, and in just those few seconds, its whole body seemed to catch fire. First a bright yellow, then a burning orange, and finally a red so saturated it looks almost hot to the touch. It turns its body side on, flattens itself thin, and gapes its mouth wide open. Let me ask you something first. A lot of us were taught as kids that a chameleon changes color to blend into the background and hide itself, right? So tell me this. It's standing on a bare branch right now, not a single green leaf anywhere near it, and yet it has just lit itself up like a red neon sign. How on earth is that hiding? Hi, I'm Dr. Gray Parrot, and welcome to the Animal Truth Lab. Today's little creature, the one that can glow and burn like that, is the Panther Chameleon. There's a panther in its name because it's covered in spots like a leopard's. The chameleon family is a big one. There are more than 200 species around the world, and the Panther chameleon belongs to Madagascar alone, found nowhere else but that great island, and it's one of the most famous members of the whole family. And its most famous talent, changing color, hides a truth the whole world has gotten wrong. One thing first, so you don't get the wrong idea. The ones who put on these dazzling Technicolor costume changes are mostly the males. The female chameleons and the babies spend most of their time a low-key brown, a plain dusty gray, and the males are about twice the size of the females, so when you hear about a big, showy, flamboyant chameleon, chances are it's a he. Here's something even more interesting. Males living in different parts of Madagascar wear different local colors. In some places, a body of fiery red, in others, more of a blue-green. And these color schemes aren't just random. Scientists compared the DNA of more than 300 chameleons and found that these differently colored populations differ from one another so much that some researchers argue they could actually be split into 4 or even 11 separate species. Scientists can look at the colors alone and roughly tell you which population an individual comes from.
Let me give you today's punchline early, and you can check me on it as we go. A chameleon changing color is mostly not about hiding. When it changes color, it's talking. Every time it switches color, it's like saying a sentence out loud. So today, I'm going to be a color translator. Every time it changes, I'll translate it into plain human words. Here's the first line. That fellow just now, the one who burned orange red and blocked the other one off the branch, that blaze of red put into plain words means, get lost. This branch is my territory. Take the hint and move along. The Panther chameleon is a loner and very protective of its turf. The males especially cannot stand another male coming close. Scientists have watched 2 males meet on the same branch, and the first thing they do is hold a color contest. Whose color can flare brighter, more saturated? Then they turn side on and flatten themselves, and with that helmet of bone on the back of the head, the whole silhouette looks bigger and more menacing. Then they gape their mouths and bob their heads at each other. Most of the time, that color duel alone settles it. The loser quietly darkens, backs off, and leaves. No one ever has to actually fight. You see it, don't you? It isn't trying to hide at all. It's standing in the most conspicuous spot it can find, having a loud argument. So here's the question. Why would an animal use color to argue, to talk? Can't it just shout or call out the way we do? The answer is a little surprising, because the Panther chameleon can barely hear a thing. I'm not exaggerating. The sides of its head are smooth scales, no ears like ours, no ear opening, not even an eardrum inside. The scientists who study it say its sense of airborne sound is extremely limited. You could almost call it deaf. Think about it. If you could barely hear, then talking with sound just isn't an option for you. What would you do? The Panther Chameleon's answer is hand the whole world over to its eyes.
Those two eyes of its, like little turrets, can each swivel in a different direction, sweeping almost a full circle around its body with hardly a blind spot. And here's another thing people usually get wrong that I want to fix for it. A lot of folks say a chameleon's two eyes are completely separate, each watching its own thing, like two TVs playing different channels. But when scientists tracked them carefully, they found they aren't that independent after all. The two eyes are quietly coordinating the whole time, and the moment it locks onto a target, both eyes swing forward together, aim at the same point, get the focus right, and only then does it strike. And its obsession with light doesn't stop at those two eyes. Right on the top of its head, there's a tiny light-sensing spot. Scientists sometimes call it the third eye. It can't form a clear picture, but it can tell light from dark and which direction light is coming from, helping it work out whether it's day or night, whether the season has turned, whether it's time to go and bask. Think about it, an animal that deals with light from head to toe, that in the end chose light itself as its language. Could anything be more natural? So you're getting the picture. This is an animal that lives inside its eyes. It doesn't lean much on ears or on sound. It leans on sight. And if it spends all day reading the world with its eyes, then what's the smartest way to talk? Turn your own body into a talking, colored dashboard. To this animal, color is its voice. While we're on earning a living with its eyes, let me tell you one more of its skills. The Panther Chameleon is a sit-and-wait ambush hunter. When a locust or a cricket settles in front of it, it locks on with each eye separately, then brings both to bear on the front. So how does it work out exactly how far away the prey is? By focusing. The instant it brings that bug into its sharpest focus, the amount its eye had to adjust, that amount all by itself tells it the distance. Once it's got the range, the tongue fires. And that tongue hides something even more incredible. Its tongue isn't slowly pushed out by muscle. Think about it. The force that explodes out in that one launch is enormous, far bigger than the muscle in the tongue could ever generate, no matter how hard it's squeezed, roughly 5 to 10 times the muscle's limit. A single muscle simply cannot deliver that kind of burst. So where does the force come from? It winds up a spring-like structure inside the tongue ahead of time, quietly storing the energy, and then releases the whole thing in one snap, firing the tongue out like an arrow. How fast? In about the time it takes you to blink once, the prey is already stuck fast and reeled back into its mouth. And here, I have to honestly correct myself on something. You may have heard the line, "The chameleon has the fastest tongue in the world." Hold on, that's not quite right. Scientists have compared many kinds of chameleons and found something rather neat. The smaller the chameleon, the relatively mightier its tongue. The real tongue launch champion is a tiny chameleon, not our big showy panther here. So it isn't the champion. But did you catch that? Even though it's not the fastest, the burst from that tongue is still so powerful that muscle alone can't do it. It has to use the spring. That trick, firing the tongue with a spring, that's the truly remarkable part. And here's something you might not have expected. That mouthful of teeth is almost never used to crush or grind food. Its teeth are fused straight onto the edge of the jawbone and never replaced for its whole life. So catching a bug has never once depended on bite force. It depends on those eyes and that tongue. Locking on, ranging, striking, all of it handed over to the eyes and the tongue. That spring-loaded tongue has one more brilliant quality. In cold weather, movements that have to be powered directly by muscle turn weak and sluggish. But this store-it-up-then-fire method is far less affected in the chill of early morning. While other animals are still too cold to want to move, this one is already having breakfast. And by the way, that cool layer of dew in the early morning is also its water fountain. It doesn't really lower its head to drink from a puddle or a bowl. It puts out its tongue and laps up,
drop by drop, the dew and the raindrops from the leaves and from its own body. All right, that was a little detour. Back to color. Let's keep using the color translator, turning its words into plain speech, one line at a time. Second line. Sometimes you'll notice it goes dark and dull all over, no longer bright. A lot of people wonder, is it sick? In a bad mood? Put into plain words, it usually means, I'm a little cold. Let me sit in the sun for a bit. Why does going dark mean it wants to warm up? Because darker colors soak up more heat. The panther chameleon is an ectotherm. Its own body doesn't make much heat, so it has to borrow from the sun. On a cool morning, it dials itself darker and turns its side to the sunlight, and it warms up faster. See that? For this animal, color reaches all the way down to body temperature. Third line, and this one's the most romantic. When a male meets a female he likes, he cranks every color on his body up to the strongest, the brightest, the most saturated it can be, then turns side on and bobs at her. Put into plain words, hey, over here, look how gorgeous, how healthy these colors of mine are. How about you and me? And this isn't just empty talk. Scientists have studied how females choose and found that a female pays special attention to a male's color-changing skill. Whoever produces the bigger, more vivid color changes during courtship is the one more likely to be chosen. To a female, being able to change color, and change beautifully, is itself a report card that reads, I'm healthy.
And how does a female answer back? That's the fourth line, the one that tugs at my heart the most. If a female is already carrying eggs and doesn't want to be bothered, she won't run and she won't hide. She'll turn the whole area around her belly a deep dark brown, striped through with bands of orange. Researchers call this her rejection colors. Put into plain words, it's one clear sentence. Don't come near me. I said no. You see it, don't you? Without making a single sound, she says that word, no, this loudly, this firmly. That is the power of color. One more for you, a lighter one. At night, it sleeps up on a branch, and its colors turn pale and soft. Put into plain words, roughly, shh, I'm asleep. Don't wake me. From dawn to the dead of night, from furious to fast asleep, nearly every mood, every state it's in is written in the color on its body. No wonder I keep calling it a whole dictionary of emotions. Okay, here's the big one. After all this about what it's saying, you must be dying to know how exactly does it flip itself from green to fiery red in a matter of seconds. There are 3 things here, and each one will surprise you more than the last. The first, those most vivid reds and oranges and blue-greens on its body, they aren't pigment at all. It's not like taking a brush and painting red paint on. The second, and this is the interesting part, it isn't shuffling pigments around inside its skin to mix up new colors either. The truth is this. In the surface layer of its skin sit rows upon rows of tiny nanocrystals lined up in perfect order, so small your eye could never pick them out. These little crystals reflect light. And here's the key. It can actively pull the spacing between those crystals wider or draw them closer together. Picture a set of Venetian blinds whose gaps you can adjust. When the crystals sit tightly packed, what reflects back is a greenish light. That's its relaxed, calm color. When it gets excited and spreads the crystals apart, the reflected light travels all the way up toward yellow, toward orange, toward red. So what it changes isn't paint. What it changes is light. It's playing a trick of light across its whole skin. The third thing, and this is the most remarkable of all, none of this is a story someone dreamed up out of their imagination. In 2015, a group of scientists using this exact animal, the Panther Chameleon, measured it and proved it with their own hands in the lab. That reflecting layer of crystals in its skin, how the spacing shifts,
how the color follows along, all of it recorded and measured by human beings. And it's remarkable enough that now the tables have turned. We humans want to learn from it, to build new materials that, like its skin, can tune themselves to any color on demand. And I'm not finished. Beneath that color-changing layer of crystals, it hides a second layer of larger crystals. This layer isn't there to give you color. It's there to reflect the kind of sunlight you can't feel, but that heats you up, near infrared. Which means, just under its skin, it has laid down its own sunshade, its own heat-insulating blanket, so it doesn't cook under a blazing sun. Think about that. Its skin has a top layer for talking and a bottom layer for shade. One skin doing two jobs at once. All right, now let's come back to that myth from the very start, the one the whole world gets wrong. A chameleon changes color to blend into the background and hide itself. After everything today, you can see that sentence is almost exactly backwards. Its most vivid, most color-changing moments, arguing, courting, threatening, it is not hiding. It's standing in the most conspicuous spot it can find, turning its emotions up to full volume. So when it really does want to hide, who from and how? What it needs to hide from is the birds up in the sky and the snakes along the branches. And its real invisibility trick, when I tell you, might make you laugh. It's not moving. It won't light itself up. Instead, it collapses its colors down to a plain brown-green, presses itself tight against the branch, and edges along slowly, rocking side to side, rocking exactly like a leaf stirred by the wind. Its real life-saving move is stay quiet plus pretend to be a leaf, not that blaze of red. In other words, that shifting, brilliant color really is its dictionary of emotions.
And it's we humans who took its joys and its angers and its sorrows. It's get lost, it's I'm cold, it's I like you, it's don't come near me, a whole dictionary of them, and mistook the lot for a trick of invisibility. It isn't hiding from you. It's been talking to you this whole time. We just never understood. Until now.
You might think an animal this small, this short-lived, this alone must be terribly fragile. Actually, it's the opposite. It's tougher than you'd imagine. Rather than deep in the heart of the forest, it prefers the forest's edges, the riverbanks, even the roadsides and the margins of farmland, the open places, where its numbers are beyond counting. They've even been carried far, far from Madagascar to places like La Réunion and Florida in the United States, and they've survived there, settled in, and made themselves at home. So think about it, an animal that can barely hear, that only gets to live a year or two, that faces the world all alone from its very first day. What does it choose in order to tell the world, I'm angry, I'm cold, I like you, stay away from me? All these things carried in its heart. It chooses to use its whole skin, to use light, to use a body that bursts into flame-bright color, to say every single mood out loud, honestly, at the top of its voice. Next time you hear someone say, a chameleon changes color to hide, you can smile and tell them, no, it's not hiding, it's talking. And it's talking louder than any of us ever could. I'm Dr. Gray Parrot. I'll see you next time. On a warm coral reef, a tattered, dead leaf drifts by, swaying gently, sinking with the current. You'd barely give it a glance, but that leaf has been watching you. And the instant you swim past, that leaf is hunting too. One costume, worn two ways. It fools the big fish that want to eat it, and the little shrimp it wants to eat. And when the costume gets dirty, it peels off its whole skin like a snake and slips into a fresh one. A drifting leaf that performs, changes wardrobe, and even carries venom. What on earth is it? Next time on Animal Truth Lab.